I've been super excited about learning about quantum physics recently. And while back in grade school, college, I loved the sciences, loved math. I don't get to learn quite, I don't get to spend a lot of time learning about the stuff. And so I've been recently really fascinated about quantum physics, and mostly when it comes to reality, how we interpret reality, and when it comes to manifestation. So a little bit on the spiritual side as well. And I've been just diving deep, and I'm not an expert. I am a new beginner learning about quantum physics, but I am not new to manifestation. So I love the connection piece. And so basically, please correct me in the comments if you know more about quantum physics. And um, so what I've learned so far is that basically the idea that reality, there's so many different realities and versions of reality happening all at the same time, and the observer is the one who interprets or has the perception of whatever reality is happening at that time. And basically, things don't exist until you observe them in that state. And how this relates to manifestation is that you can opt into the reality that you would like. And a lot of it has to do with your sense of self, your what you are trying to bring into that reality. And the thing is, the thing that you're trying to bring in is it exists. And there is a version of you that has that thing. And so I have been kind of nerding out about this a lot recently. And if that is the case, then that means there are endless versions of this that we can tap into. It is a frequency. And as the observer, you get to perceive what you want, honestly. And I love that this kind of opens your mind to how you want your reality, like how do you want to experience your reality? How to be intentional about creating that and being able to manifest that quickly. And so I've, I mean, I guess for the past close to 10, 12 years, I've been actively manifesting and learning and having to and learning to be a manifester. And what I've kind of come to know over the years is that you can, a lot of this is just a decision. It's a self-belief. What you believe about what your reality is, it will be. And if that's if that's the case, then wow, you can literally tomorrow, today, decide, oh, this is how I experience reality. And the way I think about it sometimes to make it more tangible is I live in Seattle, Washington. I've lived here for about 5.5 years. I'm coming on my sixth year. Um, and of course, there's a lot of stereotypes around the Pacific Northwest, the weather. I don't know why everyone loves to talk about Seattle weather so much. But right now it's gorgeous and it's December. It's crazy. But I like to talk about my reality of living here is that it just feels like magic. And I'm so grateful that I get to have so much access to nature. And it feels like I'm in a little slice of heaven. But others would have a different perception or a different experience of what it is like living in the Pacific Northwest. And I, when I think about like what I think about is it's insane that my experience in Seattle is that I often feel the sun. I know the sun. Oh, thank you. I don't feel like I'm of lack with having access to the sun. And I mean, it's just a small it's a small experience, but it shapes that like the belief that I have that I'm gonna see the sun majority of the days that I live here. Some people might think that's silly, but when people are like, "Oh, it's isn't it so rainy there? Isn't it so cloudy?" I think that's not my experience. I my reality here is that often I often see the sun. I often get to experience the warmth of the sun. And even like today, I mean, it's been cloudy for a couple days, but I will always remember the days that are like this. And so I wanted to offer that because we get to interpret our reality the way that like what best fits the experience that we want to have. And if you are if you believe that it's gonna be sunny most days, you're often looking for evidence that makes that true. And so I was like, wow, this is a very simple way of thinking about manifestation because that means you your beliefs are what you look for, and what you look for multiplies, and what you pay attention to multiplies. And so, if you today decided, I want a life of ease, I want a life that feels good to my nervous system, I want a life that I have so much fun in, I feel joyful in, I want a life that gives me abundance, and I feel lucky often that is something you can call in today. Today. What would you do if you knew you could create this? And so I've been nerding out a lot about this. I feel like I specialize in manifestation. I manifest quickly, so I often am super intentional about my words. I'm super intentional about what I want to call in, what I want my experience to be. And this is a great time right now to think back on what this year felt like and what is it that you want to call in for the new year and how would you like to end this year? Um, if you knew you'd win, what would you create next year? What would you want to experience? How would you want to move through this life. We only have one of it, so but it's it's something that I think about so often. I could do this every day, just being being in thought about like, wow, I can't believe we get to exist and what would we create if we were limitless, which we are. We are. And so I'm curious what you'll take away from this. I love this time of year because I get to sit with amazing women and get to dream together. And something that I offer for look at the universe. It's my dishwasher, actually. Um, sorry. um, one thing that I like to offer for this time of year is a free discovery call. I mean, sometimes it just takes 20 minutes to just think out loud. Wow, what is it that I want to create? What would I do if I had the opportunity to just dream out loud? And in these discovery calls around this time of year, I love to do a year ahead. And so, something that I like based on the things that you share with me around like your short term goals, your long term goals, I then put it I love this part. I tend to look at the full year and in my like philosophy and coaching methods, I will map out your full year of like where you should dedicate certain time of year for what and get to like lay it out for you. And just imagine that's a free thing that you just get from meeting with me. It's something that I feel really energized by and you even after the discovery call, if you decide, "You know what? I'm good with that. I just want my little guide. I wanna think about what I want to set forward for the new year, and I want a space to do it, and we don't have to work together if you don't want to. I just want to support you. And if you are interested in doing and working together, then I also have longer term clients that I meet with on a weekly basis, bi-weekly, bi-monthly. It's customizable to you and what your needs are. And so if you want to take it a step further, I can actually stick with you for the strategy part, for the action part, for the planning, for the intentionality. And so I I match the vibes. So if any of this is sounding really interesting and you're curious about it, I offer you to check out some of the links in my description, but also you can join my free newsletter that I ship weekly for Substack. And then also you can join here and you can communicate and build community here. So that is what my offering is today. And I want to see what folks think about this. I would love to hear more in the comments.